Welcome back to Baywatching, awoken from our Christmas slumber, and it's our action-packed motorcycle stunt sexual harassment charge season finale. And hey, before we get too far in, I just want to let y'all know I discovered the zombie girl from the last episode is Will Wheaton's sister, so do what you will with that trivia. Man, you don't even gotta wade through all of that lead-in horse hockey. This episode just immediately rolls out with a stunt montage. This is Johnny Danger, who's just driven into town in all of his golden-maned glory. Johnny Danger is played by well-known stuntman Ellis Edwards, who notably did work for Thunder in Paradise, 5 years with WCW, and a run with WWE since 2002. He seems to have worked with Hulk Hogan a lot. He was the stunt rigger on Santa with Muscles, highlight of anyone's career. I also see Chick-fil-A in his stunt credits, whatever that means. Anywho, Johnny Danger is making a real impression on Hobie and the producer's sons, who are lapping up all of this testosterone-filled mayhem like thirsty dogs. It turns out all of this is just like a preview for some show he's putting on later. So he's doing all of this death-defying work for free right now? Bad call, Johnny Danger. For his next demonstration, he asks for a volunteer and Hobie ends up on an ATV pulling him down the road on rollerblades. I guess it's lucky that kid he randomly pulled out of the crowd knew how to drive an ATV and the stunt went off without any problems despite the only direction being go full tilt boogie down that line.
I want you to go full tilt boogie down that line.
Meanwhile, Mitch and Eyebrows are having a young people, old people competition, both of which are dated in different ways.
How can we possibly compete with slam dancing in a mosh pit, nose rings, cool dude way?
Well, what about Groovy Man and Far Out?
Not.
Mitch is speaking ironically, of course, being a mere 23 years old. While we're talking about cool young people, we're introduced to Baywatch's newest lifeguard, Neely Capshaw. Neely is barely introduced before she's making the moves on Eyebrows and acting very fakey. Hard to believe she's gonna turn out to be a bad guy. Oh, spoilers! Hey, how many plots do we have to sit through where someone is worried that proven cheater Eyebrows is gonna cheat again?
She's nice, huh? Well, I think so. Don't you?
Being an asshole is part of my charm. Man, Neely's got no chill. Absolutely the subtlety of a wrecking ball.
Does the phone connect?
You're giving me mixed signals. What does this mean? By now, the audience is getting wise to Neely's devious overtones. Eyebrows explains that he's in a relationship with CJ, so this star-crossed romance would just never work.
You're a one-woman man, right?
Exactly. So if I steal one woman from someone else, it's okay because I was single at the time. Meanwhile, did you want some creepy adult man hanging out with kids action? Well, here you go.
So, Johnny, what's the most cars you've ever jumped?
Hey, jumping over cars ain't nothing. You should try shirtless oil wrestling. Nothing weird about it. It's just a dude thing. You take this beer, I'm straight.
Hey, Johnny, you think you should be riding after, drinking?
Hey, Slick, pop a beer and everything seems twice as good.
Yeah!
What's this? The A plot and the B plot sharing a common theme? I don't think I've seen anything so daring since like season 2. This episode really is a tour de force. So yeah, Neely is drinking on the job. Out of all the things wrong with her, this is one of them. And wouldn't you know it, someone is drowning just as she dips into the tower for a sip of some of that devil juice. Was that Southern Soother really worth it, Nelly? Soon, nefarious Neely's web becomes even more tangled. Eyebrows tells Mitch about her drinking on the job, so in order to save herself, she says no, he's the liar. He made this up in order to cover for his crime, groping her in the tower. That's right, folks, it's the old girl who cried sexual assault. A story that is as cliched as it is harmful. Hope you enjoy!
I'm so angry about this, I'm turning into an orange.
Neely's got an attorney and has filed a restraining order. Things aren't looking so good for Eyebrows. Noteworthy that she actually committed sexual assault on him earlier in the episode, which could be a thoughtful look at the high amount of male assault victims who don't report, even when compared to the staggeringly high number of unreported female assault victims, but actually Baywatch wasn't even thinking about that kind of violation because evil females!
Yeehaw! I love hanging out with 13-year-olds.
Nuh-uh, this guy doesn't pass the smell test. Amber alert, boys!
Garner cites Johnny Danger, yes, that's his legal name, for reckless driving. You don't pull that crap on Ellerby's beach, no sir.
That's it.
Tragically, we're saying goodbye to Garner's Daisy Dukes this week, as this was his last appearance on Baywatch proper until Season 8. But not to worry, because he's riding into the sunset to star in Baywatch Nights next season. Ooh, get hyped!
Yeah, he tried to jump the fence with his horse one night. Plastered as usual. Hit the fence, broke his neck, and died.
Classic Garner, starting off scenes with humorous stories about someone falling off a horse and dying. He's telling Mitch all about how he used to idolize cowboys and loves to lasso, a facet of his character that I adore. Odd that he hates the beach, loves the city, but also is extremely passionate about horses and grew up on a ranch. Garner's backstory is murky at best. Excuse me, Garner, Mitch already knows all about lassoing. You have nothing left to teach him.
Impressed? I have no life.
In a stunning coincidence, it turns out Johnny Danger and Neely Capshaw are old pals. I shoulda known. All creepy drunks are part of an underground creepy drunk club. He takes off with her and leaves the rest of the beer for the producer sons, because nothing seems more of a thrill than spending money on alcohol and then giving it away to strange minors. Weirdest part is, this isn't even the first crazy motorcycle drunk this guy's played. I can't believe this typecasting. Now the producer's sons are popping chills on the beach. How slippery is the slope. When Connor almost drowns, Hobie realizes this problem is abso-fruitly serious.
Why were there no lifeguards on duty anyway? Man, we suck.
Now that Mitch is involved, he's gotta set these boys on the straight and narrow.
Frank Maletti, class president, varsity football, captain, all-around good guy, my best friend. Summer after graduation, he went body surfing at County Line. And Frank was zapped because he'd been drinking beer all day. They found his body 2 days later. Well, there's a super party animal. His name is Frank Maletti.
The lesson here being, I'd only be best friends with someone cool enough to drink and swim. So get started early, kids!
It's not so easy to tell the good guys from the bad guys, Mitch tells Hobie. Sometimes people who you think are your friends aren't looking out for your best interests. Which is why this episode features Johnny Danger, a borderline pedophile stunt guy and live-action duff man, and Neely Capshaw, a character who's failed to show any sort of friendship to anyone and is so transparently evil she's got the consistency of saran wrap.
You know, I've seen that face before. I'm not sure if I want it to be that old face I used to see.
Eyebrows is rocking a 5 o'clock shadow and brooding. You know things are serious. In a desperate bid to clear his name, he asks Neely to tell the truth, which doesn't please Johnny Danger.
You don't got any beer for minors? Don't even think about coming around here. Sacred Blue, I wasn't even part of your plot.
Guess what? I'm part of this now too.
You think they're mad now? Wait until they hear about Mitch's best friend in high school who died in a brunch brawl. Things have gotten so bad that the story of Eyebrows' sexual harassment has made the newspaper. This is potentially damaging for his personal life and career. Things need to be handled delicately.
I just made the papers.
Wow, it's a picture?
What's a little boo-boo on your face, huh? A shaving accident?
You know, you're right, Baywatch. Sometimes you just gotta laugh, like when you're telling someone about a fatal horse riding accident. In all seriousness, though, this episode is hilarious if you find amusement in Eyebrow suffering. Meanwhile, Chuckle Nuts is still all up in Hobie's business. I mean, this isn't just me making stuff up to be funnier. We see him surrounded by adoring adults several times in this episode, and yet he keeps tracking down this 13-year-old he barely knows to hang out. Where's Chris Hansen when you need him?
Out of the way, I somehow run a successful stunt show despite nearly running over babies. What the hell is my life?
I don't even know what to add. This scene went in 10 different directions in 30 seconds.
My drunken save!
Why you handcuffed me? I had an accident.
I don't know, man. It's kinda hard to whitewash, tearing up a pier, nearly flattening an infant, and then blowing through a railing like the Kool-Aid Man in front of dozens of witnesses.
I gave it to you, Slick. I don't want it anymore. Slick?
The 13-year-old's rejection is by far the most sobering wake-up call for Johnny Danger. Well, now that that's been wrapped up, there's still the lingering issue of Neely, a subject that surely can be concluded in 3 minutes.
Staged cheating argument.
Angry dismissal.
Bitch slap surrender.
Bad fake crying. How uncharacteristic of Eyebrows to cheat. That's how you know this is a ruse. Buddying up to CJ, Neely says she can get revenge by saying that he put his greasy hands all over her too. Their lies will make them lots of money in the lawsuit. But, got her with the classic tape recorder trick. She's finished. That's why I'm a future PI, bitch.
Pfft, you're not gonna be on nights with us.
Best lead singer.
Is he kidding? David Hasselhoff.
Well, he's big in Europe.
Anyways,
Sayonara Season 5. Now that Eyebrows' name is cleared and Neely's fired, he'll be on Baywatch Beach for years to come and will never have to deal with her again. Next season on Baywatch, Eyebrows is gone and Neely's back. Will she be able to redeem herself to the team? Meanwhile, Logan's got a fashion business now. Come on, Vogue!